car that I can pick up a car. You just take my guns, you've just taken it all, you haven't taken my right. And I've proven that right now.
That was a couple.
One thing we're going to do, down at Broken Arrow, right now is a Rose Festival going on. It's the largest event that this city has. In fact, they call their downtown area the Rose Festival. It's the Rose District. We are going to walk down there and walk through their open air events, open carrying, such as we are. And Broken Arrow is not going to do anything about it because they will respect our rights there. They don't have any no gun signs.
Yeah,
So it's going to be good there. An event promoter cannot stop you from walking down the street. And when they do, they're violating the law. They're violating your rights.
And go the same route each time with nothing happening.
So I'm glad everybody that came here showed up to support Richard Hubbard.
You can bring those people up.
Picture Perfect, who was arrested right over there by that little pond, pepper ball, for walking around, open carrying a gun larger than a
And that
pistol,
helps your case.
lawfully doing so. The person that called in and said they thought he was pointing it at people in the park, walked over to the fire station and told the fire department, told those personnel, and they called the police. And then they skedaddled.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll grab some candy.
They were never found again. So there is no witness. They pepperballed Picture Perfect while he was on his knees getting down.
Where did they hit your hairball?
So, in fact, they probably got a use of force for excessive use of force against him for lawfully carrying.
Hey, Oklahoma Community Watch.
All the same side as your handgun was.
We got Not Now, Maybe Later. We got Picture Perfect. We got News Now, OKC. I'm sure there's some other auditors here. You got a YouTube handle?
Yeah, I'm Safety Man.
Safety Man? Glad to meet you, Safety Man. I'm Okie Audits.
Okie Audits. I'll have to get you on.
We're going to we just sell candy for a little while longer.
We found you on the live stream
Until about noon.
Today, this morning. Yeah,
We found your channel.
I got you.
We're going to
I've been in retirement for a minute.
check receipts and see who's got the golden receipt.
You just put it in my trunk right
We'll see. We'll see. If it's about standing here after a
It's
while.
loading back up on that black bus.
Let's go to Texas. Yeah.
Hey, Steve. I don't know if I can get these comments to pop up.
On video last night, they never told me to leave, and they arrested me for trespass.
They watched it up until the point whenever they pink grabbed it, they go out for it.
Yeah.
We would have probably beat the cops taking you to jail, but we...
Yes, I am just across the line, Oklahoma Community Watch. Kind of by Chitopa, Kansas. So just 4 or 5 miles into Kansas.
Got to that block road.
We've got a crowd assembling here. All of us lawfully carrying.
Thing we are going to do, guys, we're going to walk down through the Rose Festival. It's about a 3-mile walk. If you can't do that, you know, we've got vehicles you can ride in. I also am looking at June 6th, D-Day. It's just right around the corner. And we can walk in the honor of the veterans that gave their lives. Memorial Day weekend was last weekend. If you didn't get the opportunity to express freedom on Memorial Day or June 6th, D-Day, this is right in the middle of it. We can also
He's got the
thank
old
veterans that
Serpa
gave
Derpa.
their lives on Memorial Day and D-Day by walking down our public city streets through the Rose Festival. And that's one way we can represent our freedom in America by honoring those who walked before us to secure our freedoms. So, let me ask you this. Who here
Yes, sir.
served in the military? Raise your hand.
Subscriber. I'm Joey Grayson.
Hi, glad to meet you, sir.
7 guys here, maybe 9 more. On that first day, you took an oath, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who took the oath? Yeah, before.
Been
the
in
first
retirement.
day. That matters. Who took that
You've
oath
been
on your
missed.
last day?
Thank you.
Rescinding that oath.
Hey,
I don't see any hands. There, folks, that is your well-regulated militia right there. They're the leaders.
But
If we ever have
lots
to
of things
call our
changed.
militias to defend
Lost my
ourselves
job
against
due to it.
government, our ex-military are the ones that
Moved.
do that. And they are well-regulated. They
Maybe you can
understand
answer
it.
a question.
The word
Whatever happened to
regulated
News Now
does not
Tulsa?
mean well-restricted.
Came and went. That's all I know.
Is knowing how to use your weapon. Everybody being on
I
the
don't have
same
a channel
page when it
myself.
comes
I
to
know
what
big
type of ammo you
quarter.
may using. using,
constitutional cowboy,
so that if
not
you
now,
run out,
maybe
your
later.
partner has
Yep, yep.
something that you can use. Knowing how to use your tourniquets, your equipment, knowing, regulated doesn't mean restricted. And everybody, the anti-gunners will bring up well-regulated, meaning no bump stocks, 10-round magazines, featureless rifles. We have to all have 7 background checks to purchase ammo or a gun.
Nice looking
That is not what the
auditor rig set up
well-regulated
there.
means in a militia.
Look at that.
A militia is a fighting machine.
It doesn't mean well legislated?
That does not mean
Look at
well
that sweet
legislated.
setup, right?
It is in the Second Amendment. That argument has been settled in 1791 with the Second
I
Amendment.
gotcha.
All these gun
That's
debates
slick.
have been on December 15th, 1791.
AR pistols, open
This
carry
one
everywhere. Gotta love this.
was settled. So I don't care what they want to bring up. It was settled in 1791 as to our right to bear arms. And for everybody who wasn't in the,
That's cool.
or in the militia,
May's
there's
here.
another clause
Maybe
that
50
says
of us, I
that
suppose.
the right of the people, which means everybody else, to carry, bear, and own and possess arms. And that's arms, not guns. And what is arms? Arms is anything that you can use to defend yourself, from a club to an Abrams tank, if you can afford one. And there are people that have tanks in their private possession. Aircraft, any type of weapon.
The word comes from the old, back in the day when everybody had swords, and
Yep.
you would raise your arm, and that was your 2 arms. And that's where the word bear arms comes from, was the old sword days,
Yep.
sword fighting days.
So that right to bear arms shall not be infringed. And what does it mean to infringe upon something? It means to cross that line, to touch it, to in any way, shape, or form to restrict it.
Amen, brother.
So we need everybody in your state legislators to fight to get laws passed at state level like we have with marijuana in many states. We need gun legislation in your state that allows you to carry a suppressor, to buy, purchase, own, or sell a suppressor. Title 18, 922 should basically go away. And we can do that at the state level. And when we get enough of states doing this, the federal government cannot go after anybody like they don't with marijuana. And we can do it. We've done it with marijuana in many states. We can do it with our NFA items at the state level. And we need to support and vote in our people in our governments that will support that.
It's Andrew.
The purpose of the government is to protect our rights. So the police should be able to do their job, yes, but we are protected with our rights, and they cannot infringe upon our rights while they're doing their job. You can stand there and film them all day long. You can carry your gun down the street. The minute you break the law, then you're on the other side of the law, and we have the police to do their duty. Until then, they work for us. So, I don't know if there's anybody else who wants to come up and speak, but we've got Picture Perfect here, who was lawfully carrying in this park right here and was arrested. They still have not brought charges, by the way.
And actually, I'm streaming on Open Carry Texas, so I think our audience would like to know, because we talked to him already.
Sure.
News Now OKC. Just tell everybody what's happened to you as well, because a lot of people in Texas, I don't know what y'all think about Texas up here as far as our gun rights, but it's not as gun friendly as our reputation would suggest. And it sounds like we've got the same problems you guys have, which is why we all wanted to come up here. Some of us drove more than 8 hours to get here because we want to support y'all, because you're going through the same thing. And I think all of us gun owners around the country, if we band together and support each other and have each other's back, we're going to start recognizing the things that happen to Picture Perfect, things that happen to News Now OKC, things that are happening to us in Texas. There's a pattern here. So, and only by coming together can we understand. So, sorry about that. That was just a little preamble for my audience, but so talk to Open Carry Texas about what's going on up here with you.
We appreciate you guys coming up. Thank you for your support. It's awesome.
Audio okay?
It's,
Let me know in the comments.
You guys are actually supporting us more than our own community, which is sad. A lot of our own community up here doesn't agree with how Tim and I are exercising our rights, and
Thank you, Steve.
it's pretty sad. They need to open their eyes, because if it happens to us, it's going to happen to them. And then who's going to be there for him? Nobody.
But you were in this park.
I was in this park, open carrying an AR-15 pistol and an FMS-40 handgun, walking the trail around the park. I was here for about an hour. I was on the tail end of my walk, about to wrap it up, and the police screamed in here and didn't want to listen. I explained I'm licensed, this is all legal, it's a pistol. Didn't care. Told me to get on the ground, shot me 15
Oh man, awesome.
gun while I was on my knees. And
Adam K, that's cool.
took me to jail for obstruction initially.
You got in the way of their pepper balls.
Yeah,
The free flight of their pepper balls.
exactly. And they,
All 15 of them.
yeah, all 15 of them. They put me in jail for obstruction, and then the next day they tacked on pointing.
Thanks, Man in Black.
They never found the complainant, as far as I know. They claim that somebody told the fireman.
Poor
and the
birdie.
fireman told them. So I guess that's enough in Oklahoma. And so they charged me with pointing a firearm, which is a felony, and then kept me in jail as long as they could before they had to transfer me by law. And they sent me to the county jail, which I signed a bond for pointing a firearm, and it was $2,000, and obstruction was $500. And they said you can bond out when you get to county tonight. I said okay. So I got to county, and I was about to try and bond out, and they amended the charge to pointing with intent. So I had to stay the night again and see a judge in the next morning, which it's also like an aggravated felony. So I guess it's a big deal. It's a violent crime. So the judge wasn't very friendly. I had to listen to a lecture from the judge about how exercising my rights the way I did, while legal. He did say while legal.
Did you have to
stupid.
prostrate yourself while he did that? Did he make you get on your hands and knees and bow? And
he might as well have.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't talk at all. And he, I told him, I said, Judge, we don't have a red flag law, you know, because he said that as a condition of my bail, I had to surrender all my firearms, ammunition, and everything to law enforcement. I can't carry imitation guns, cap guns, pop-tart guns, anything that resembles a gun. I can't carry, or be in possession of, whatever. I told him, I said, we don't have a red flag law, and he yells, this is my courtroom, I'll do whatever the hell I want. If you want to get out of jail, you're going to give up your guns. Jesus. Tyrant. So,
that's funny. I thought the Constitution began with "we the people," not "we the judges."
apparently not in Oklahoma.
Interesting.
So I bonded out of jail.
News Now ML. I'm not sure who that is.
I bonded out, like they posted bond at 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon, and I walked out at about quarter to midnight. They kept me in there another 12 hours before they let me loose, after they already had their money. I've lost about $5,000 on this deal so far. And no charges have been filed.
It's been a couple months now.
Tay Lynn, I know who the, not now, maybe later is.
They keep pushing the arraignment back. Right now the arraignment is scheduled for June 14th. The first one was April 16th, then May 2nd, then May 16th, and now June 14th. They have my phone. They confiscated my phone and my guns. The DA has said that all they need is the video. Broken Arrow wants to image my
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
and I'm not agreeing to that. They don't need everything. All that's relevant.
I gotcha. Appreciate the comment update.
And even then, all it is pictures, is video of them shooting you a pepper ball. That's about it. So, right now, no charges. They took my handgun licenses, which I have 2 from 2 states.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go for a walk here in a little bit, I think.
They just took them without a warrant and mailed them back. And one of the states suspended it because they said they got an affidavit that said I was under felony indictment, which I haven't been charged, so that's not true. Oklahoma has my Oklahoma license.
Oh, we've been so wet up here, Oklahoma Community Watch.
Until this is all over.
I've been flooded out of my home a couple of days.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. And I think a lot of people in Texas can really understand that because it's not just a thing that's happening. Here we are in these pro-gun states, but yet we've got law enforcement officers who are making up laws, and you've got judges who are empowering them to do that and costing you money. So, all right, well, yeah, I just wanted to hear y'all's story, and now Open Carry Texas knows why we're here. So,
You know, there's something else that's really important about the Second Amendment that everybody really needs to understand. The Second Amendment gives every other amendment its teeth.
That's right.
So if we don't have our Second Amendment,
Well, you
guess
have
what?
none.
They don't have to let you talk. They don't have to sit there and say, oh, we're going to give you due process. We're going to search your stuff, do whatever they want, and you can't do anything about it. So that Second Amendment is the most important one.
And for an example, you can look to the UK.
And yes,
And it's the only one that says shall not be infringed.
And is infringed, and it's the only one in the first 10 that you have to get a license.
That's the most
somebody
infringed one.
for, and follow all these extra rules
No.
that are asinine and do absolutely nothing except help criminals.
I agree with that.
Judge did to you for filming me open carrying.
Yeah, I was walking around Picture Perfect downtown Tulsa. He's carrying his gun, and I was kind of videoing. I guess I got the phone guy.
There we go.
Anyway, they put me in for constructive possession of a firearm, saying that I was in possession of him and his firearm while I was walking behind him filming, and charging me for it. And they're charging me for it.
what?
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
because
It's in
he's
my
on
book.
probation for filming in public.
What a crock of
Yeah, they've got me
BS.
for constructive possession of a firearm. Today, I'm probably gonna catch up.
Because you were walking behind someone that had a firearm.
Because I was walking behind someone that had a firearm. Today is a day that Monday will probably be a bad day for me. Because I'm here with all you guys, and
you're in a public park.
I'm in constructive possession of all your guns, I guess.
Yeah.
Boy, it's a lot, ain't it?
I'm telling you guys, it's ridiculous here. It's getting bad. It's their way or no way. That's what I think.
We got ours on, that's for sure.
And when we exercise our right to carry a gun larger than a normal pistol, we're exercising rights that have been available to us for over 6 years. Just nobody's done it. And now that we are doing it just before constitutional carry comes into play, permitless carry in the state, we want to kind of get the word out that you can do it and how to do it right, and give people instructional, and also let the police know that, hey, this is going to happen and you need to be aware of it. You don't need to overreact to it when a person's carrying a gun down the street. Well, they've never seen it, and they're kind of going back to their old Baptist roots up here, that people just don't need guns like that to walk down the street.
Yeah.
And only the police and military should have guns. Well, if that's the fact, look at history. In 1975, in a place called Cambodia, when the U.S. pulled out of that country, the Khmer Rouge took over, walked into their cities, and everybody was cheering. Yay, it's all good. They rounded up every person in the cities. And
Yeah,
they
that'd be
sent them
cool.
out to the
NorCal
country
News.
to dig in the fields and produce rice. What did they do with that rice?
I've just
They
been in
sold it to
retirement.
China. Well, what did China really trade them for? Ammunition and arms and weaponry.
So
And they
he
were
got thrown
trying
in
to take
jail.
over
And he
southern
got thrown in
Vietnam.
jail.
They were in a proxy war with
They are
Vietnam
my friends.
in 1975, 6, and 7, until Vietnam said, we've had enough of this shit. And in 1979, they went into Cambodia, and they pushed the Khmer Rouge all the way into Thailand.
There goes Oklahoma Community
By
Watch.
default,
I was going to say hi to
freeing
him.
the Cambodian people. So they lost their rights to the guns, and that's what happened. The Khmer Rouge just walked in the city, took their guns, and made them walk. Told them, get out of the city, the Americans are going to bomb, and they just put them to work. Millions of people died. And that's something that's not being taught in our schools anymore. That could happen here. Now, everybody says that we're wacko for thinking our government is going to turn against us. Well, it may not today. It's probably not going to happen
Well, it
in
just
most
did
of
last
our
night.
It did for you last night.
the
It
federal
did.
government.
It did for me back in
What
December.
we're worried about is our children's future. As they slowly take our rights away, as we, the older generation, pass on, and our kids accept that
They throwed
we
me in the
shouldn't
tank
have
for
these
having a
guns,
camera in public.
that is when the government is going to strike the
Me and my girl.
Exactly. If we don't
We
stand
have-
up, there's
we have to hold on to these rights that we do have, or in a generation they'll be gone.
Yeah.
And then what happened in Cambodia or Venezuela will happen here, with no resistance. They can't do it today.
Morning, man.
It's
Been
getting
thrown
there.
out of several places here in Tulsa for having a firearm.
Kingdom and how they took all the guns
All
away.
public places too.
Most people don't know is how all the crimes that are being done with knives has increased.
And they're taking the knives away now.
Yeah, they're passing knife laws
Soon it'll be 4
Look at what's going on in Venezuela. And I'll tell you guys, who's heard of the Mulford Act?
Sweet setup right
You
there.
guys, 2, 3, 4 people out of 30 people have heard of the Mulford Act. You
I'm a
know,
little envious. I don't have an AR
Mulford
pistol.
Act is, in California in the 1960s,
Got plenty of ARs, just none of them are pistols.
exercising their right to carry rifles in public that were loaded to defend themselves against an out-of-control police force in Oakland, California. And it was tolerated because they stayed in Oakland. So they were exercising their right, and it was all blacks. It was all basically black people in their community defending themselves against crime and other forces. When the police went to the legislators to have that removed, they walked onto the state capitol, open carrying their lawfully carried guns in 1965, and scared a lot of the legislators who said, we can't have these blacks walking around with these guns like this. We got to make open carry guns illegal. So it happened in California, and who knows who was the governor this thing.
Hey Andrew, say hi to Oklahoma Community Watch.
Hey, OCW.
Ronald Reagan
He's
signed in and
been chatting at you.
On my stream or your stream?
On my stream.
governor of California, leading to the debacle we have there today with gun control. The Mulford Act.
Yes, sir. We met just a minute ago.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, sir. But Okie audits, you betcha.
Lifetime.
Well, all gun control laws,
This is my
especially
first
here in
stream.
the South, took part in the states took part in the Confederacy. All gun control laws during Reconstruction were passed to disarm the newly freed slaves.
Behind you here.
And in Texas and Louisiana, specifically to disarm the newly freed slaves and the Quebecicans. So it's all based on racism. The fact that there are laws that require licensing is based on the fact that they wanted the black man and the brown man not to be armed. These were Democrats. These are the same people that don't want black men and brown women and white men or anybody to be armed. But they had to start with the races. They got who they thought was the weak, and they went for everybody else.
I have gone to
Gun control
jail.
is race control. That's all it is.
OCW.
And then they'll control the food. Control everything else.
That'd be
And
cool.
like I said, this may not happen.
I'd love
It
to
may
see a
seem
picture of that in
crazy
NorCal News.
to a lot of you watching on the video that the government will come in and take over our
No,
country.
he's just watching on here.
It's not
I'm
gonna
Okie
happen
audits.
today. It's not going to happen in our lifetime, but it is coming.
Said I'll see you here. Yeah. That's
why
cool.
we have to preserve what
What's your
liberty
YouTube
and
handle?
rights we have today.
You don't have a handle?
We need to pass that on to
Ah,
our
there we
next
go.
generation. Because it started in the 60s. They tried to take our gun rights away, and there was a big push back then with the crime omnibus in 1968 when they made a lot of things illegal, and then 1986 when they banned automatic weapons. So, you know, one step at a time. They're doing it in generational steps. It's not going to take too long before we're not going to be able to do what we're doing right now.
That's a fact.
So we've got to fight on a state level, and that's what I'm talking about, guys, with your state legislations, your preemptions. Try to get a preemption in your state.
We're good on that, and
Yeah.
we even got an even stricter. We got even more protections this session, which is about the only thing we got. Nothing else got passed, but we did
Yeah.
get stronger protections.
We were able to get a constitutional carry in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
And it passed
November
what?
1st.
90 to
Yeah,
14?
It passed.
90 to 14?
It was Governor Stitt's first bill.
Passed by a landslide, and what I don't understand is it had a trailer bill with it. Trailer
Yeah.
bill is 2010, which prohibits open carry on public trust property, which we can carry on right now.
Yep.
It was not needed. We were told it was a compromise.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't have at least that to appease the big corporations that run some of the public trusts,
Like Gathering Place.
like Gathering Place and the zoo and a few other places, that open carry or constitutional carry wouldn't pass. I don't think that's the case. Constitutional carry passed by such a large margin.
I agree with that.
We would have had
We got railroaded.
30 or 40 votes.
We lost our rights on that one.
Yeah, we sure lost our rights on that
And
one.
we're
but-
promising we'll get the rights back.
That ain't gonna happen.
The state fair, too.
So I guess in 2 years, y'all just need to go down to Texas and talk to our legislature.
It happens every 2 years for you guys.
What's that?
We just need to move to Texas.
Well, I wouldn't recommend that until we get our freedoms back. You're leaving freedom to go to Texas.
Your legislature only meets every 2 years.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
And then we have
140 days
legislatures like House Speaker Dennis Bonnen.
How like what happened with constitutional carry down
Dennis Bonnen created. So they were killing the constitutional carry bill in the committee, and so one of the gun groups went out and started laying out flyers in the speaker's district.
And he wasn't
Well,
armed or anything.
He no guns or anything, just was out putting flyers indoors. Well, he went to the third. He had gone to 2 legislators already. These were chairmen of important committees. And then he was going into the speaker's district. Well, by that time, someone had already called and said, hey, there's this gun guy going around doing leaflets. And so the speaker decided that he was going to be afraid of a piece of paper and got DPS to go to his house. Well, when Chris went to go put a flyer on the speaker's door, before he got to the house, there were DPS troopers. So instead of going to the house, he went up to the DPS troopers. Well, Bonnen claims that he was there intimidating everybody. He was there to intimidate his family. And so he killed constitutional carry based on literally a lie. Said that he had waved his gun around at one of the other representatives' offices.
And
he didn't
he
even have
was-
guns on him because he was flying. He was flying to each of these districts, and he doesn't like checking bags. So he didn't even have a gun. So he made up this entire lie. He had already selected a Democrat chairman for the committee that hears all the gun bills.
One of
So
those
the Democrat chairman was
anti-Jew
all about, oh, okay, I'll help you kill the bill.
Judo Johnny, we're
And,
assembled here
it
having
took while for
a
us to
peaceful
get all the
talk.
open records
Then we're going to go for a walk.
By the time we
There's a
got
big
all the proof that Bonnen
event
lied,
going on
it
up
was
here,
too late
just
for
up the road.
So then we tried to amend it onto other gun bills, but Bonnen killed it through administrative means.
One thing we did when we wrote the law for constitutional carry, we tried to get law enforcement something.
Hey, hey.
What was it that we did with the handgun? They could carry, what is it? They can carry their personal gun on duty, or what was it?
What?
They can use their personal rifles on duty, I think.
Yeah.
We gave them that. They could use their personal rifles on duty. We gave them that to help get law enforcement on board. I might not be correct about that, but it is something like that. We gave them something that helps get law enforcement on board, which helps get it passed.
Yeah, we don't care about getting law enforcement on board. Maybe that's our problem, but
Our law
we're not
enforcement
going to
came
beg
out way
cops
better
to.
than
I mean, and I'm not saying that's what you guys
people
did. Everybody should do what they think
Our law
works.
enforcement here doesn't give a damn about our gun rights. In fact, they don't want us
There's
carrying
very few.
guns.
Oh, ours
As
fight
evidenced
against
by
it.
last night.
Yeah.
They don't give a damn about any of our rights.
And if you've got a legislator, when you walk in and you talk to them about gun laws, and that legislator says, well, I need to check with my law enforcement in my district first, they're not on your side. They should not be asking law enforcement what they think about laws for the citizens.
Yeah.
Now, if a law enforcement agency approaches them and says, we might need this law, that's one thing. But the legislator going to law enforcement and getting their stamp of approval before they vote on it, they're bought and paid by law enforcement
they
there.
are.
Oh yeah.
The law enforcement, if they want to have a say in our gun laws, they can go to the voting booth like you and I.
Yeah, exactly.
And I heard them say it up there. Well, I need to talk to law enforcement about this in my.
Oh, we hear that all the time. Well, what does law enforcement think of this? I don't give a damn what law enforcement thinks about
That's
this.
why we have laws.
Their job is to enforce the law, not write it.
Yep. We need to write laws that law enforcement will obey.
We're going to start the march in a minute.
Okay.
Obey. So we can get ready and head
just
downtown.
recording y'all whenever y'all are. I'm on your schedule.
Who's gonna ride over there? 'Cause
What? Before we do all that, can we get just a big group picture in front of the big flag, and then we'll probably just put that away.
Yep.
All right, go on.
No.
I think Okiatis is going to do a quick
That way we don't have to carry that
check
big
out,
giant thing around.
and
Hey, come on.
we'll
You know what?
get back started when we go on a walk here.
I think they were saying
Oh yeah, we can just deploy it over there.
we can set it up here, take pictures in my car.
Rick volunteers to carry it.
Yeah, okay.
That's about on my person. You got a license? You got pistols? You can carry one in the pipe. Yeah, right now. Yeah, after November 1st, you can do anything. But right now, everything's a pistol. You can only carry a pistol, and it can be loaded.
All right.
You got to see
All right, I appreciate the nice comment there, Bama. All right, I'm going to check out here, get a picture taken, watch for notifications here in just, I don't know, I'd say 30 minutes or so, maybe a bit longer, but we're going to do a walk, and there's a big festival going on up here, and we're going to do a walk through there. So for right now, it looks like the coverage is going to break, but feel free to tune back in, watch my streams, pay attention, and I appreciate everybody being with me for this first event here. Thanks.